Okay, we are live. Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. My name is Kat Shear, and this is a special presentation from Clydesdale Media. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone about our sponsors. RX Smart Gear provides world-class jump ropes, grips, and other gear for us all. Use the code Clydesdale15 for 15% off your order at rxsmartgear.com. Mobility Movement is a program that teaches you how to increase your capacity to heal, reduce recovery time, and restore your nervous system to peak health. Everyone gets a 7-day trial, and after that, our followers get the first free month when they use the code Clydesdale free month at mobilitymovement.com. That's mobilitymvmnt.com. And finally, C4 Energy, delivering the most effective, best tasting, and highest quality products. Get 20% off when you use the code Clydesdale at checkout at c4energy.com. That's C, the number 4, energy.com. So today on Meet the Athlete, we have Granite Games semifinalist Julia Crawford.
Hi.
Julie, how are you?
Good. How are
you? Excited. Good. I'm so excited to talk to you. Now, you competed at the 2018 regionals, RIP regionals, but you will be making your semifinal debut in Minnesota next weekend. How are you feeling about that?
I am very nervous. I'm excited. The last time that you're talking about, I felt like I kind of slid in there just because a lot of people had went team. And I actually had no intentions of actually doing that well. I had actually just broken my arm in half the year prior. Yes.
Okay.
And it was just a fluke that I ended up making it after actually working my butt off for years trying to get there. Broke my arm in half. Then started doing class, did no extra work, and just that was it.
Interesting how that happens.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I definitely wasn't prepared the last time I went. And then this time, I've actually, I've just been doing normal class. I work out 4 times a week with class. I don't do any extra work or anything like that. And I finally feel like I made it and I deserve to be there and I can actually be competitive while I'm there, which I'm very excited about.
That is exciting. I want to back up because I want to hear about this arm fracture. What happened?
Okay. Am I allowed to use any competition names on here?
Sure.
Okay. So I was actually the Wadapalooza qualifier.
Okay.
So it was a 6-rep max bear complex.
And I think I heard about this.
I'm that girl.
Wait, is there film footage?
There is. You had to record all your workouts. And
okay, so keep going. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering this. So go ahead. Were you Julie Glotz at the time, or were you Julie Crawford? Okay.
Yes, there's the scar.
Holy tamale. Okay, so yes. Bring everybody up to speed on what happened here. This is crazy.
Okay, so yeah, it's just actually a fluke accident. I hate to put it on that I was doing CrossFit because it was a fluke. I was holding hook grip. Obviously, I was trying to get first place. I had seen what the other girls had done, and I was just trying to do 1 pound heavier than that. So trying to take first place in that event. And the very last rep, after the jerk going into the back squat, I brought it down to my back rack and it just slipped off my back. That's it. It was just a total fluke. But they told me that my arm would never be able to straighten again and all of these crazy things, that was my year too. In my husband and I's opinion, that was the year.
This was, and you broke your humerus, right? Like the big bone between your elbow and your shoulder. Okay.
Yes. So I have a metal plate in there. It still bothers me. A lot of the overhead stuff. I don't want to say weak, but it is definitely something that will still affect me. Like the bench press, any type of tricep will still be affected. But hey.
But that happened to you before the 2018 regionals, right?
The year before.
Okay. So you had some pretty serious rehab to be able to make it back to where you were before.
Yes.
Or even more than that, because you hadn't qualified for regionals prior to that, right? Even though you tried.
Exactly. Actually, I had a radial nerve palsy, and they thought that my hand would never work again. So it was literally limp. I couldn't move my fingers, nothing. I remember chopping vegetables and I was crying it was rough. My husband had to
goodness.
literally do my hair, which
yeah, that's not fun. They're no good at that. Sorry, guys.
No,
you are not. Wow. Okay. So you were coming up in that era of volume, right? Volume. And it almost seems as though that injury sort of forced you into, let's dial down the volume a little bit and just go back to intensity, which everybody is saying now is kind of the key to success.
It is.
I mean, not maybe when you're just starting out, like you have to have that volume, but once you've sort of been acclimated to that, it seems like Christy Aramo last weekend talked about it, that she's really changed her training. We've heard from Bethany Shadburn that's talking about the fact that, she goes like hard for 4 weeks and then rests a week, and hard for 4 weeks, rests a week. Like, people are doing some different things now and not just murdering themselves at the gym for 6 hours a day to train.
I'm telling you, that's the difference.
Yeah. And there's a very famous mom who, accidentally won the Granite Games last year because doing one workout a day at her gym, Ariel Lowen. So this kind of sounds familiar, this story for you, which I'm kind of excited about. But talk about sort of the hiatus you took from 2018 to 2020, because we haven't been around for a bit. This is sort of your comeback year.
Yes. So we kind of when I made it to regionals, breaking the arm was the best thing that ever happened to me, because honestly, it really was. My priorities were out of whack, for sure. I owned a business at the time, and I was using that business to, I'm sad to say, but I was not treating my business the way it should have been. The attention that my husband deserved, the attention the business deserved. Like, I didn't have my priorities straight. So when I broke my arm, it was like, hey, okay, like, we need to reassess. Like, are we going to be done with this or not? Like, are you going to keep trying? Or, my husband's always been so supportive of me doing that, even though it takes a lot away from our family. So I was like, yeah, like, we're done. And then I made regionals. And so after that, we were like, hey, let's start. We want to have a family. So that's where my hiatus was. I had my son, Jackson. I kind of focused and balanced my life. I actually got a big girl job. And then I was super unhappy there. So, now my husband brought me back to the gym. And so I'm working at the gym, but I'm actually owning a business is not nearly what it was before. I mean, if I get to work out, that's great. If not, like, business, my family, like, those things come first. So just some good balance now. And that's where I'm at now.
I love it. So have you had a chance to look at the workouts? I assume they're starting to come out in dribs and drabs. I don't know that they've all been released, but we're still waiting on
2 more, I think.
2 more. Okay. How are you feeling?
Good. I'm excited, nervous. I actually ran one today that I wasn't expecting to do as well as, like, in. One of my friends actually came down from where she lives in North Carolina. She ran it back with me, and she actually qualified as well. But something happened with her video. It like only half uploaded, and so then but it went really well, and I got to work out with her, and so that was great.
Okay. That's good, because I'm guessing you don't have like an elite level person that you're training with on a regular basis.
No, my training partner, Ashley, she's incredible. She's freaking great. She has the motor of freaking Sam Briggs. She's incredible.
Right.
She's missing that strength like that aspect of the strength. But we work out together every day. She pushes me like nobody ever has. And that actually was a big hole in my game. So working out with her has filled that hole. So, and she's my best friend. She's an awesome person.
That's great. And where are you based out of?
Melbourne, Florida.
Okay. And the name of your affiliate?
Yeah, our affiliate is Maverick CrossFit.
Maverick CrossFit. And that's you and your husband's business that you were referring to is the affiliate?
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Do you have a coach?
He is my coach. Always has been. I just
your husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He asked me before I started, like, do you want me to be your coach, or do you wanted me to date you. And I was like, date me? And he's like, well, no, I want to be your coach. So we tried that for a while and we ended up married. So I got him.
Oh, that's cool. And how old is your son, Jackson?
He's 2.5 now. He's going to be 3 in September.
Awesome. Does he get what you're doing? Is he in the gym a lot?
He is. He's at the gym often. He knows. It's funny because his daycare that he goes to is right next to the gym, like literally next door. So he always tells people like, that's my daddy's work. And he knows he has dumbbells and stuff at the gym. He's awesome.
That's very cool. Very cool. So your husband will be getting your coach's pass
yes.
in Minnesota, correct?
Yes.
Do you have a specific goal for the weekend?
Well, I want to make sure that I have fun. That's like my number one goal. I want to make sure that I have fun and harness that nervous energy that I get. That makes me feel sick. This time I'm going to use it as fuel. I really wanted to be top 20. Like that was my goal. And I was told recently, like, Julia, you already are top 20. You need a new goal. Like all these things. And I was like, okay, well, my friend wrote out this list of all the statistics. She's like, you could definitely go to the games. I'm like, okay, like, sure.
Nice.
But my goal is, my husband and I's goal is to try to be in one of those final heats one day. That's
right. Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's always, when you get into those bigger competitions, when there's 3 and 4 heats, that's always the thing especially when it's your first, big one coming back. Like I said, this is your comeback year, right?
Yeah.
So longer term plans, what are you thinking? You're 30, right? Do you want more kids? Yes. Are we planning the Annie Thorisdottir comeback?
I mean, that would be amazing. I would love to be able to do that. I just have to make sure that I stay balanced. And if I can do that, my husband will support me in anything. But I have to make sure that I can stay balanced without going out of whack, because that is important to me. I want my family is number one. And then I just get to do fitness because I love it. And I have this great team of people that support me in it. And that's the only reason. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. So
how did you first get into CrossFit?
I hate this question. It's embarrassing, sadly. There was actually this guy that I worked with that I was in love with at the time. And
we all have stories like that.
I know, but I just wish I would have done it on my own. So that's why I started. I actually did it because I liked this guy that did it. And then he ended up leaving and I was like, I love this. Like, I'm never leaving. So he got me in there, which I'm grateful for, because it changed my life for sure.
It does for most people, for sure. What athletic background do you have?
I am a ex-cheerleader, competitive cheerleader. So
nice.
I was the tumbler and the one that holds everybody up in the air. That was me.
The base. Yeah. My daughter was all-star cheer for a while, so she was like a center flyer. I know all about the cheer stuff.
That was my life.
Super dangerous sport, by the way.
Yeah, I've actually broken both of my ankles. I broke this arm in half too, cheerleading. So
good grief, girl.
Yes,
I love it. Okay, so you guys own a gym. You're heading to Minnesota. I'm still getting past the whole that you're the person that broke their arm on that qualifying video. I wish I had known. I would have pulled it up. What I wanted to say really was that it is clear that balance is important to you, because when we were trying to find a picture of you for the promo, all you had were family photos on your Instagram. And Instagram's where everybody goes to get sort of the down low on people. And you didn't have any CrossFit pictures on there. You didn't have any pictures of you competing and things like that. And is that sort of a conscientious thing that you've done to sort of ensure that balance?
Absolutely. I don't want that to be all I am anymore. I really don't. There's so much more to me than just working out, and it's important.
Yeah, that's great. There's a lot of young girls coming up in the sport. You've got these, crazy 17, 18, 19-year-olds. What advice would you give to them, knowing what you know now?
Oh man, knowing what I know now, just starting, like already competitive girls, I would say find a good coach that cares about you. I feel like that's so important. That cares about you more than they care about themselves. And to try to find balance, because the moment you enjoy it more than it becomes almost like an obligation, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to see great heights. Like that, enjoying it and loving what you do and being able to see it as an opportunity rather than like this obligation that you have to go in and train because you have these crazy goals. Like find a friend, somebody to train with. You cannot train alone. If you're training alone, you are doing it wrong, in my opinion. Yeah, so find a good friend to train with, somebody that cares about you and that supports you and lifts you up. I have that with Ashley. That's been a
Yeah.
huge difference. Like before, my training partners and I were very not healthy, like competitive with each other. Ashley will beat me. I'll beat her the next day, and it's all high fives. That's super important. So that's my advice. Find yourself a good coach, find yourself a good teammate, and have fun. If you are not
Keep
having
the
fun,
balance.
yes,
Yeah,
very
keep the balance. That's great advice. I also wanted to ask you, oh, I'm totally drawing a blank. Sorry. People are coming to my door
no, you're
to the
okay.
gym. No, and I'm like, oh, are they walking in or are they not walking in? Did you have a chance to watch Syndicate this weekend? Or
The what?
Lowlands or Torian Pro, the other semifinals?
Yes, yep. We've been watching a little
First
bit here and there.
impressions. Any first impressions from, the workouts that you're going to have to do too, or sort of how things went?
I'm behind. That's how I feel. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, weightlifting used to be
I
my
have to
best.
go this fast.
Yeah,
I have to do
exactly.
this.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, all right. Guess we're gonna just pick up the speed a little bit today. So that was my really. These girls are incredible. The amount of time they
Yeah.
put into their training, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see. I'm happy for everybody that's made it. I love that it's a top 120. I know it's always been that number, but it's cool to see it spread out across rather than
being like those regions. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's great. A lot of times too, this is going to be your first since 2018, your first big competition, and really, this is probably bigger than regionals when you think about it in terms of,
oh yeah,
who's paying attention and all that. Have you dialed in your nutrition at all? I know that's something that we talk about, rookie competitors, not necessarily that you're a rookie, but where the nutrition piece during the weekend sort of fails them. Have you practiced that, or you have that dialed in?
So after I broke my arm, I really started focusing on my nutrition, mostly because I didn't feel like I deserved food. So I had like an issue with eating for a while after my arm. And I actually think that is what made a big difference as well. Just focusing on my nutrition. I had followed just some RP template, just trying to hit these numbers that I'd never really tracked or prepared before. But I was always like afraid to eat carbs. I had like a weird thing with them where I couldn't eat them because didn't feel like I deserved it anymore. Very
right, because
terrible.
You weren't exercising enough and all that. That especially with injuries, I think female athletes go through that right now. I don't know if you know Paige Henry.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So she just had like unrelated to sports, an unexpected medical procedure done where she has to really shut it down for an extended period of time. And she's a nutrition coach. She was talking a lot about how she used to eat 3,000 calories a day. Now she has to eat 2,000 calories a day. And it's a slippery slope, and she's fine. Like she's got it all dialed in. But I thought about it. I sort of put myself in that position mentally thinking about it. And that's got to be a struggle because you're used to eating whatever you want, to a certain point in a lot of volume of food. And then, you stop burning all those calories because you're injured. It can really mess with you.
It did.
Yeah.
I still to this day have like terrible body dysmorphia. But I know my husband is also my nutrition coach.
Okay.
So that's nice because he's always on me. I have a hard time getting all the food in that I'm supposed to get in. So I have him on me all the time.
Making sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been great. And yes, I have dialed in my nutrition. I eat carbs now. It's like new, exciting thing. I feel great.
Right.
So that's made all the difference, and really dialing that in has helped a lot. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. When are you heading out there?
We are heading out next Wednesday on the 1st.
Okay. Check-ins on Thursday?
Yes, I know. Not too much time, but we have our 2-year-old, so it's going to be a long time away from him.
Oh, okay. So the two of you are going by yourself, and you're leaving Jackson at home with family or friends? And
Yep, with grandma.
Cool.
Yes.
That'll be great. Oh, I'm super excited for you. I'm really glad to have this chance to meet you and chat with you. My co-host Scott will be at the event. He'll be wearing a Clydesdale Media shirt. You can't miss him. So be sure and make sure you say hi to him, and he'll be around introducing himself as well. But just great to meet all these athletes, and I hope you have a great run at Granite Games. I'm looking forward to the comeback.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me too. I appreciate it.
Of course. It's going to be great. All right. You take care, and best of luck.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you. Bye.
You